Well, it's back to school time, and you want to make sure that your car is in top condition. And when your teenager is driving, throughout the school year, you want to make sure everything is running properly. This morning, Kenny, the car guy, is here, the owner of Mufflers and More in Walled Lake, and he joins us, as always, in our Fox 2, I call it the side lot, not really the back lot. How are you, Kenny?
Good, Jay. How are you?
And who's your guest?
It's my son, Benjamin.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
He's got a deep voice,
Yes,
so
he
you
does.
might get into radio. I like that. Has your dad taught you everything you need to know about cars?
Most of the stuff.
All right, very good. That's very good. All right, so listen, kids are going back to school, and a lot of us, fortunately not for me yet, but a lot of parents send their kids off to college with a car.
Right.
And so if it's here in Michigan, you'll get a little snow too.
Correct. And we wanted to really focus today on the kids' cars. Kids' cars that you give them to go back to high school or college aren't the greatest cars in the world. So we want to make sure they're safe, reliable, and that the kids actually know what to do if they get into an emergency situation.
All right, so let's begin. So what do we want to look at first here?
The first thing we want to look at is how to do the fluids. And basic check would be the oil, how to check the oil. And Benjamin's going to give us an idea how to pull it. You wipe it, and then you put it back in again. And then when you bring it back out, it'll show you your oil level. And I purposely made this car low so we could see that this needs a quart of oil. And then you just go to the cap here, pour a quart of oil in.
Right.
Check it again, and you're good to go. There's other fluids to check. You have your radiator, which you have the main cap here, which you never, ever open hot. It can explode in your face and can cause bad damage.
Right.
So you have a reservoir over here that you can actually see the level of the fluid. And as long as it's good, you leave it alone.
What about one other thing about the oil? Maybe you mentioned it, I missed it,
Yes.
but I mean, same thing. When should you actually when you have to add oil? Should you wait until the car's been cooled down?
As long
Does
as
it matter?
Not really. As long as the car has been shut off for 2 or 3 minutes, that's your proper time
Okay.
to check the oil and do it. You want to check all the fluids: washer solvent, power steering, coolant, your brake fluid over here. You definitely want to check and make sure your battery is good.
Okay.
Once you've checked all the fluids, there's things you want to keep in your car to make sure they're good. A jump box is a fantastic thing to have for somebody if they ever get stuck.
Okay.
Jumper cables just don't work like they used to.
Right.
You want to be able to look at your tires, check your tire pressure. Ben's going to show us how to check the tire pressure with a small gauge that we will be more than happy to give you for free.
Okay.
Show you where your pressure is. You also want to use a quarter if possible to check the tread of the tire. If you see George Washington's head completely, going right there, then you know you don't have enough tread. Now we can't see his whole head, so you have plenty of tread.
Okay.
So you want to check the pressure in the tires and all the way around. You want to make sure that the car is not cluttered inside. You want to make sure
Well, good luck with that, Kenny.
you want to make sure it's clean.
I'm 38 and my car is cluttered
I know.
inside.
The main thing though is the trunk. Really, tell your kids not to put a lot in the trunk, because if they ever get stuck one day, they're going to have to get to the spare tire. And if they're on the side of the road and they have to take everything out to get to this tire, it's not going to be a good situation. If they have to do the tire, you want to be able to, and I'd be more than happy to teach everybody to come over, show them how to use the jack that is supplied with the car,
Okay.
to be able to take the tire off, put it in the trunk, put the spare on, and get back on the road quickly.
All right, before we wrap up, let's look over at your table. Just from here, tell me, what do we have over there?
We have our fluids, all the basic fluids that we talked about that go in the car: the oil, the brake fluid, the power steering, the transmission, coolant, and your washer solvent, which is probably the most important in the winter.
All right, for more on Kenny the Car Guy and some of the things you learned today, quite easy. You could just go right on to myfoxdetroit.com. We'll get it all up there for you. Hey, good seeing you.
Good seeing you.
And good meeting you.
Thank you.
And we'll be back.